Welcome to Batcast 66. It's the podcast where we watch every episode of the 1966 Batman show, and then we talk about it. Today, we're talking about Batman episode 30, While Gotham City Burns. As always, I'm Kendall.
I'm Scott.
And yeah, this is the second half of Bookworm's lone appearance in the series.
Yeah, surprisingly great two-parter.
Oh, God, yeah. This is like maybe one of my favorites.
This is up there for me. It's between this one and The Penguin Goes Straight right now.
Yeah.
And then maybe the Joker when he was doing the thing with the school.
Oh, yeah, I really like that one, too.
Yeah.
But this one was a pleasant surprise. It's just so weird.
And that's part of what makes it interesting and entertaining. Like,
when last we left the dynamic duo, Batman had gone for a drive.
yeah, he was going to whatever trap Bookworm originally had for him, and Robin was tied in like the clapper of a bell. In Big Benjamin, which is the name of the bell in like the Thomas Wayne building. I forget what it was called.
Yeah, the Wayne Memorial.
Yeah,
Tower or something.
Yeah, I think it was Memorial Tower. Yeah, but yeah, holy crap. Because yeah, Robin's about to get squashed because it's about to be midnight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's where we left off. We weren't really sure what the Bookworm's plans were yet, but like they clearly they didn't reveal them on purpose yet. You know, because like his mom, was her name Lydia?
Yeah.
She specifically said that she didn't know when they were under hypnosis.
Yeah, so this episode opens a few minutes before the end of the last one.
Yeah.
Or maybe more than a few minutes. Batman is driving and meets up with Chief O'Hara in the middle of the street.
Yeah, like he parks a police car in front of him, like he cuts off the Batmobile. Because Batman had sent the police ahead to the Independence building because he was going to steal like the Declaration of Independence or whatever.
Yeah.
And they were like, we searched it from top to bottom and we didn't find anything. Which starts. Oh yeah, no, they're like, we went to go check out where you said the bookmobile was, and nothing was there.
Yeah.
So then Batman's like, oh my God, Robin.
Yeah. So Batman, and here this
was
like,
really weird. Yeah.
Yeah, this was definitely something out of like a David Lynch film.
Yeah.
But Batman like crosses his arms.
He like enters in like a trance trying to think.
Yeah, he like goes into this meditative state.
But then Chief O'Hara asks him a question and he like snaps at him.
He's like, will you be quiet? I'm trying to get into the mind of get into the criminal psyche or something.
Yeah, or whatever it was really weird. I was like, what is happening?
Yeah, I thought it was awesome.
I'm not saying it was bad, it just was very weird and we haven't seen it before.
Yeah.
But he basically does like one of those like free form thing where like he figures out whatever the plot is. He's like, oh, bats in the bell, or not bats in the belfry, for whom the bell tolls. But he's like, oh, that must be at the, in that bell or whatever. I got to get there before it's midnight.
Yeah, he like is able to like figure it all out. Yeah, so Scott, you were saying this, but Bookworm's clues are very Riddler adjacent.
Yeah, he's a more hyper specific Riddler, I think.
Yeah.
Where like it's riddles and clues, but they're all like literary based. Which we'll talk about his relation to the Riddler, I think, at the end of this episode.
Oh yeah, it's true.
Because I have other things I want to talk about in relations to that. But yeah, so Chief O'Hara hops in the Batmobile on Robin's normal seat, and they go racing off to the Big Benjamin bell,
Yeah, so it's pretty fun. It's always fun to see someone else in the Batmobile.
Yeah, and Chief O'Hara seemed really scared by it.
Yeah,
he kept like cowering,
freaking out.
Yeah.
So they pull up to Big Benjamin, and the first thing Chief O'Hara does is just
start shooting at it.
Yeah, he's like, "Oh, I'll stop the clock from going off."
Yeah,
and he's just like shooting, and he's like, "Oh, not a dent," but also like.
You just murdered him, like Robin or whatever.
Yeah, or anyone. Yeah. Anyone who happens to be there.
Yeah. Anyway, that's the cop move, is just to pull a gun and shoot. Batman takes the bat bazooka, or is he called it a batzooka?
Bazooka.
It is called a Bazooka. I wasn't sure if they did or did not do that portmanteau. But, he shoots one of the... Like, we saw it last episode, where he shoots one line up to, like, the weather vane and, like, one to, like, the minute hand of the clock. And he ties both of them to, like, the positive part of the battery for the Batmobile to, like, positively charge them. So that way the clapper and the bell, in theory, would both be positively charged and would repel one another.
Yeah, a lot of magnet talk this episode.
Yeah, I'm, like, glad they made it out of ferrous materials and that it worked.
Yeah.
But, like, they're showing, like, a clock overlay of, like, the seconds ticking down. And, like, Batman's stopping to explain the science to Chief O'Hara. And I was thinking, like, it would have been really funny if, like, while he's doing that, you just hear the bell go off and, like, Robin just died in the middle of it.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're able to save Robin because...
that plan worked.
Yeah.
And, like, fortunately, Bookworm and his gang were, like, watching from a distance, so they're able to, like, get away.
Yeah, so when the clapper doesn't go off,
yeah,
Bookworm, like...
is about to snap.
He, like, shrieks.
Yeah.
Which is, like, another just, like...
He's so tightly wound.
He's such a Lynchian character.
Yeah.
Like, he's just always on the verge of, like, a horrendous meltdown.
Yeah, and, like... the people around him, like, you feel like are not safe at any moment.
Yeah.
Like, so much anxiety.
Bookworm's cool. I like him. He's a cool bad guy.
Yeah, I like him a lot, and I think that's entirely because of Roddy McDowall.
Oh, he does such a perfect job.
He's like, he gets exactly the tone of this show.
Yep. Yeah, God, such a shame he doesn't come back.
Yeah, I wish he did more. We were reading, like, a little interview about him with the show, and, like, I think he was saying that there was supposed to be more episodes, but they just never called him back and can't remember why.
Yeah, there was meant to be 3 Bookworm appearances, and they only did this one. So, that sucks.
Yeah, I would have been down to see more of him.
Yeah, I can only imagine it's Planet of the Apes stuff.
Yeah. Because they did those sequels in pretty short order, right?
Yeah, I feel like they all came pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Bookworm regains his composure and comes up with a new trap pretty much immediately. So we cut to, I guess, a little bit later.
Yeah.
And we're at Wayne Manor. And
stately home of millionaire Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course. And his youthful ward, Dick Grayson.
Yeah.
There's a knock at the door.
Yeah. Alfred gets it, and it's a Bookworm from the Bookmobile. It's just here. He's like, I have a book that I want to show somebody in the house. And Alfred's just like, oh yeah, that's fine. This is normal. Like, he's in, like... Granted, his supervillain outfit's not as crazy over the top as, like, some of these other ones. But, like, Robin knew who he was right off the bat. He was wearing the exact same outfit. I gotta imagine, like... Because that implies they've had run-ins with him before.
Yes.
It's like, yeah, he's gotta be, like, a known figure, you know?
Yeah, I guess Alfred didn't study this one.
Which is a cool, come on in. He does another, like, book pun with, like, a book that puts you to sleep. It's, like, congressional records or something.
Yeah, so... Yeah, Aunt Harriet's on the couch.
And she's all excited. Ooh, she's got a
like,
book recommendation for me.
Yeah, I'm looking for a book that I can read before going to sleep.
Yeah.
And yeah.
They do the same gag again.
Yep.
And then there's just, like, a book under glass that's on the table, and he just smashes it and takes that, and then is never mentioned again.
Yeah. So, at the end of this scene, I had a thought.
Yeah.
Aunt Harriet is so...
Like, he knew who Aunt Harriet was because he called her Mrs. Cooper.
That's wild.
Yeah.
But Aunt Harriet is so concerned for Dick's safety.
Yeah.
And the amount of times a, like, supervillain has entered Wayne Manor...
It's been, like, 3 or 4 times now.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
Because,
yeah, because people... Either it's, like, a weird scheme that, like, Batman's doing, like, for, like, a trap, or, like, people are attacking them because it's a millionaire's house.
Yeah. It just seems weird that she would opt to stay there. I guess financially it makes sense.
If this was the world where Dick was an orphan and didn't have a family, like, then obviously that wouldn't be, you know, it would make sense. Like, that's better than whatever life he was going to wind up having in an orphanage.
True.
But she could just take him. Like, what's her deal? Is she homeless? Like,
But even so, like, Bruce Wayne is just donating so much money
Yeah.
to the Wayne Foundation, to everything. Like,
Yeah, like, I don't know how Bruce Wayne gets money in this, because I don't think they've ever mentioned, like, Wayne Enterprises. They mentioned the Wayne Foundation as, like, his philanthropy thing.
Yeah, maybe he just, like...
I mean, $1 million went farther in 1966 than it does in, 2020.
Yeah, and I'm sure he has some investments,
Yeah, I got to, I'm assuming... Because they never... granted, they never really get into how his parents made a lot of money. Because, like, I never kind of got that, because his dad was a surgeon, right?
Yeah, in most continuities.
Yeah.
And then, like... I remember in the Nolan movies just being like... So his dad was a doctor and, like, this corporate business owner?
Yeah, I don't remember where that comes from. Like, maybe his mom's side is, like, where the money comes from.
Who knows?
Yeah. But then it wouldn't be Wayne... I guess it would be Wayne Manor if he took it over.
That's true.
But, like, if he left it to Dick, would it become Grayson Manor?
Who knows?
Because I gotta imagine the comics it would pass to his son, Damian, who has the last name Wayne.
Yeah. Well, aren't there comics where Damian's, like, an adult Batman?
Yeah.
So maybe the secret's in there.
Oh, I don't like Damian, so I never read any of those books.
Well, if you know the answer, write on into
comments.
us.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So he steals this priceless book. It's just that's what it's ever referred to.
So Gordon calls Batman, who's just downstairs in the Batcave this whole time.
Yeah, I didn't know this was happening.
And he's like, 2 things, Batman. This thing went down at Wayne Manor, but nobody's hurt. And also, there's a giant cookbook.
No, he doesn't say it right off the bat, because Batman's like, I can get to Wayne Manor faster than anyone will imagine to take care of, like...
yeah!
Yeah, they're like, no, everyone there's fine, but, like, this other thing happened on the corner of whatever street.
Fifth
there's
and
just
Cedar.
There's just a giant cookbook. And he's like, what? Yeah.
So Batman and Robin...
Well, first Robin wants to go check up on Harry. Batman's like, listen, they said they were fine. Our duty's to the public first.
Yes.
So, I gotta imagine if they weren't fine, they would have gone upstairs. You know what I mean? But, yeah, so they run into this giant, like, the delight of cooking?
Yes.
Yeah. It's like 3 stories tall.
It's pretty dang tall.
Yeah.
And it's just in the middle of the road, and no one knows what to do.
And people are just crowding around it.
So Batman disperses the crowd, and then he and Robin use the Batmobile's,
like magnetic ray gun.
Well, first they scan it to
Yeah.
see if it's hollow.
Yeah, it's hollow and it's made of steel, I think. That's why they're trying to use the thing to open it. Because
Yeah.
they're trying to open it like a book.
So they open it.
Well, they don't actually open it.
They think they open
Yeah,
it.
because Bookworm and those guys are watching it, and they're like, they push the thing in like it's a mechanism that opens it. Because he's even like, I bet they think they opened it.
So yeah, the book opens, and the first page is made out of paper, which Batman just like cuts.
Yeah, he finds like the hollow part. Like there's a door-shaped hole in it. So they go in, and it's like a little kitchen scene with like actual like soup brewing.
Yeah, on like a stovetop.
Yeah, because Robin like tries it. Like I wouldn't.
Yeah, I also would.
I would imagine there would be a level of poison, but even unintentional because everyone uses like knockout gas constantly.
True that.
But yeah, so while they're in it, like there's a transceiver in it because Bookworm says something to him, and then he slams the book shut, so they can't get out. And then it pumps in so much steam that like it's gonna cook them alive.
Which is pretty brutal.
Yeah, that's a terrible way to go.
Yeah. So while Batman and Robin are cooking, Bookworm's like, "Oh, I'm gonna steal the Batmobile. See you later."
Yeah, so I guess that was his plan, was to get the Batmobile.
Yeah. Which
because it has the Bat Ray, which he needs for his like actual super scheme.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they steal the Batmobile, and Batman and Robin are trapped.
Which again, this is another villain steals the Batmobile. I was just talking
love
about.
to do it.
Yeah.
Batman tries to call the police, but the signal's not strong enough.
Yeah, to get through all the steel and stuff.
But I mean, it wouldn't have mattered anyway. The police are there,
Yeah.
and they can't figure out how to get this book open.
They're trying to like pry it open with like shovels and stuff.
Yeah. So Batman thinks of an idea and calls, or rather radios the Batcave, because he knows this is around the time Alfred is like cleaning up in there.
Yeah, he's specifically polishing like the nuclear generator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's communicating with Alfred, and we're not quite sure like what he's getting at.
Yeah, they're looking for something in the city, and then you only hear Batman's end of the conversation, and it's like, ah, just what I thought, and then like cuts away, so we don't see them escape.
If they do escape.
Yeah.
We cut back to the police, and they can't figure it out. And Gordon's like, "Who's the best safe cracker in Gotham?"
Yeah, and they're like, it's the Riddler, and they're about to phone to get him in from the penitentiary to like maybe help them solve this. And I was like, let's pump the brakes real quick. That would be such a great idea, and the Riddler's ego would not let some 2-bit Riddler knockoff like Bookworm knock off Batman and Robin. So yeah, I think he would team up at least temporarily.
Yeah. I like this little... It's always fun when they mention someone who's not there, but...
And, like, these episodes have a bunch of that, like, with, like, Thomas Wayne Memorial stuff. Like, it makes the world feel alive. Like, I remember we mentioned... I don't remember what the episode was, but someone offhandedly mentions Catwoman, like, way before...
she ever appears.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that's, like, episode 2 or something.
It's, like, super early, yeah.
Or... I think maybe Zelda the Great, because they're like, oh, it's a woman criminal.
Maybe. I don't remember exactly what it was.
Anyway, we don't get to see the Riddler show up, unfortunately, because the cops managed to use dynamite to blow the cover of the book open.
Yeah.
They go inside, and Batman and Robin are gone. Mysterious.
Yeah, they evaporated in steam.
Yeah, the cops are like, oh, we were too late.
Yeah.
Which, maybe Batman did have to stop and give Chief O'Hara a science lesson.
I guess.
Because, like, the cops are just incompetent. Anyway, Bookworm and his worms, as he calls them.
Yeah. So they do have criminal names. It's Pressman, Printer's Devil, Typesetter, Worm, and then Lydia Limpet. The Worm got the worst one.
They arrive at the Morgan-built library, I think it was called.
Yeah.
And this library has like an impenetrable vault that no criminal has been able to break into.
They have all these valuable books. Like they mentioned, like original Guggenheims and like some stuff like that.
Yeah, like original Shakespeare.
Yeah, stuff.
So, the plan is to use the Batmobile's bat beam to just blast a hole in the side.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't say what they'll do when the cops show up, but...
I mean, they just blast the cops with it, too.
Yeah, I guess so.
But yeah, they blow up a hole, and then Batman and Robin step out.
And they're like, impossible!
Yeah.
So, you already know what's about to go down. We got another fight.
Well, first they explain how they survived. And that to get the steam in there, they're like hooked up to like a manhole cover, to like a thing, like part of the underground system. And then Batman's like, you did all of these things, but you didn't like think the armor like the ground. And they basically just like escaped through like underneath, kind of like they did in the first episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if that was intentional, but it's kind of like, I just thought about it. It's kind of like what happened. So they got out and they listened to them on the Batmobile's like radio or whatever. Yeah. So that's why they knew where to go.
Yes.
And then it's another fight in an alley, and Bookworm jumps into a trash can. I was like, oh, is there going to be another hole at the bottom of this one? And then Lydia goes into like a dresser that's there for some reason.
Yeah, or like a wardrobe. Or
something. Like it's a wardrobe. Yeah.
And then
Oh, first he's like, give me your glass. Like, Bookworm's like takes all those henchmen's glasses. Like, I need them. Like, that's really funny.
I love Bookworm's henchmen, and
they're weird, like, newspaper hats.
I feel like they're in it. They love books too.
Yeah. I feel like this is a gang of nerds.
Yeah. They all are wearing glasses. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So we get a short fight scene. Nothing too wild happens except they like pick up this like down telephone pole and try to like battering ram.
But like the one guy's like carrying it like in the front of it, like he's gonna run into Batman and this thing's gonna hit his back. And then Batman trips him up with a trash can.
Yeah.
But like I also noticed they're like slamming and throwing people into like that wardrobe and trash can that the other guy's hidden, and like they're clearly just not in it now.
Yeah.
Because the way they're like bouncing around. But then they like beat up the trash can Bookworm's in.
Yeah, they just start like
smashing it. And they pull it up and he's got like a goofy expression and is like knocked out. Which is really, really funny.
Yeah, and then they pull out Lydia and arrest her.
Yeah. Like crime doesn't pay or whatever.
Yeah. So we cut to police headquarters and not Batman and Robin, but Bruce and Dick are there.
Yeah, they're making a donation to have the penitentiary's like library expanded, or like at least add more books to it. You know, like new books.
Yeah, $5,000 donation, which that ain't nothing back in the day.
Ain't nothing now. Get you a lot of books, especially wholesale.
That's true. Commissioner Gordon tells them that Bookworm is just like in the other room, and Dick's like, "Oh, can I see a real life super criminal?"
Yeah.
Somehow, for some reason, Gordon like agrees to it.
Like him and his mall are here. So, yeah, they come in with like, oh yeah, Bruce Wayne's like, yeah, as long as they're under appropriate police restraint or whatever.
And Gordon's a little too confident about that.
Way too confident about that.
But
considering the world that they live in, yeah.
But yeah, it's just like, okay. And yeah, they have a brief standoff, Bruce and Bookworm.
Yeah. He Bookworm misquotes something. Or misattributes it to something.
Yeah, he attributes, I forget the line, but he attributes it to a poet, but it was really by Cervantes.
It's from Don Quixote.
Yeah.
And then I thought he was going to have one of his breakdowns and go insane again, and then we're going to cut him off.
But he was just like, oh, this guy's just as bad as Batman.
He's just as obnoxious as Batman. Like, oh, brother, if you only knew the half of it. Dun, 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 dun. Anyway, I loved this story.
This is so
top,
good.
This is top tier.
Yeah, this is real cream of the crop stuff.
Yeah.
Probably my favorite of these original villain episodes.
Now, to be fair, we haven't seen too many of them yet, but I think it's going to be hard to top. I remember really liking Egghead as a kid. But
well, I mean, this is the fourth one we've seen, right?
Who was the first one? Was Zelda?
Zelda, Falseface, Tut.
Oh, that's right, Falseface. No, Falseface came from the comics.
Did he?
He just was barely in them.
Oh, I see.
Yes, yeah, so just Zelda, Tut, and then this one. Which they've all been good so far.
Yeah. What did you think about his plan?
Yeah, let's get into... Alright, so, right off the bat, I loved Bookworm and everything about him. But his plan,
I mean, he was getting jump on that.
It was getting real convoluted, but Batman does make reference to, he's over-plotting it because he's, a hack writer. So, I don't know if I hold that for or against him, because, he steals that book from Bruce Wayne and, served no purpose.
Yeah, I didn't understand that, but he was, turning his losses into victories. I feel like he was pretty good about that.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I want to say a 2.
Let's give him a 2. Okay. I'm comfortable with that.
Just because, it seemed like his plans keep not, no pun intended, going to plan. So yeah, I'll jot that down.
Cool. 2 for Falseface. Or Bookworm, rather.
Yeah.
Sorry. They killed Falseface in the beginning.
Yeah.
Not really. Just my headcanon.
But no, I really dug that. And I think we've only got 4 episodes left of season 1.
Whoa, we're getting to the end. Roddy McDowell. Gosh, I wish he would have come back.
Yeah, that would have been sweet, but...
Oh, wow. I'll take this.
Yeah, it was a very memorable performance. I really enjoyed this episode.
So did I. So we'll see you back here in 2 weeks for Death in Slow Motion.
Oh, man. That sounds riveting.
Yeah, hopefully it's as good, if not better, than this. But find out alongside us. Same Batcast time, same Batcast channel.